Hi, I'm Rakashi. Welcome to Stush Nerd Summaries. This segment of my channel will focus on summarizing the plot of a book I have read on a chapter to chapter basis. I highly recommend getting the book yourself and read to your heart's pleasure, so that way you can experience the story yourself. Take for example, I went to a restaurant that had some great food. If you have the opportunity to be able to go there, then I recommend you go do it yourself, like any book I summarize for you. This video is a plot summary of the selected work. Reading the full work is highly recommended for further understanding of the characters, themes, and plot. Also, whenever I read a book, I always finding new words that I never heard of or read before, so I'll share some words that I've learned through each chapter as I go along summarizing it. Chapter 1. Miss Fuller talks to Miss Turner about her worries and frustrations about Martina attending Milverton High School. Miss Turner encourages her to send Martina, knowing Martina's potential. Chapter 2. Martina was listening to the conversation between Miss Fuller and Miss Turner. This chapter makes mention of Yvette and Shimron, her half-siblings, her lower-class community of Dinsland, and the experience of living in their small two-bedroom home. Chapter 3. Martina attends her first day of Milverton High School. She attends morning worship, and a girl named, Martina nicknamed her Stone Cold, steps on her foot. Then there's a flashback to when Martina visited the school, noting its upscale location and feeling embarrassed as her mother dressed in bold colors and short clothes compared to other mothers. Chapter 4. The students get to their classroom, where Martina meets her form teacher and two of her subject teachers. After meeting the teachers, the students are dismissed for lunch, where Martina meets an older student named Tian and his friend. Tian mentions Martina looked like someone he knows personally. At the end of the school day, Stone Cold and her friends tripped Martina and made fun of her shoes. Chapter 5. Martina gets home to an empty house. Martina thought of how her mother had to buy a pair of expensive shoes, leaving her to carry an old bag. Yvette's father arrives to the house looking for Yvette. Martina didn't like him because he always had a hungry look in his eyes. Yvette comes home and gets confronted by her father. Shortly after, Miss Fuller comes home, starting an argument until he left. Chapter 6. Martina has a best friend named Leonie. Stone Cold is now well established as the class bully. Martina observes a group of senior students mocking a mentally ill man who lives in the caretaker's cottage at school. At the end of the chapter, Martina gets mistaken for someone else. Chapter 7. Martina is on a bus to get home when a fight between a Milverton High School student and a student from Bryson High School occurred. During the altercation, a student from Milverton got injured, resulting in the police getting involved. Martina realizes that the upper-class kids are often painted as saints, while the inner-city kids are portrayed as criminals and crooks. The incident caused the bus drivers to change how they pick up students, mainly with Milverton students getting better treatment. Chapter 8. Martina studies for her end-of-semester exams to the noise of a street dance outside. Suddenly, a fire broke out at a neighbor's house, causing injuries and damages. Another incident occurs at home when Shimron and Miss Fuller got into a fight, leaving Miss Fuller with a black eye and Shimron leaving the house for the night. Martina realizes the lack of another adult in the household plays into Shimron's behavior, making Martina wish her mother was home more often. Chapter 9. Martina starts 8th grade after successfully being placed in the top 4 for the end of semester exams. Leonie notices Martina's home life wasn't good based on the fact Martina doesn't eat lunch and the address she writes. Martina also felt a bias from a teacher. One day, while reporting an incident during assembly, The principal fell off stage, causing an uproar of laughter from students. The vice principal took the incident as disgraceful, seeing as the school wants to keep an air of purity and excellence. For punishment, the students had to report to school on Saturday. Chapter 10. Shimron skips school and goes to a small community to smoke weed, dance, and hang out with a group of men and other schoolboys. Shimron doesn't believe school is his strength, rather Martina's strength. Shimron aims to get rich to provide for himself and his family. Shimron regrets his fight with his mother and notices she is not her usual self. A man approaches Shimron to do a secret delivery, allowing Shimron to earn money. Chapter 11. Martina is in 9th grade and she is doing well in swimming club to the point she was picked to be on the team. Her classmates even took notice how popular she is getting. At the same time, her classmates have been reporting that their valuables have been stolen. Tina even gets to meet her supposed lookalike courtesy of Tian. Things at home are different as Martina worries about her mother, who seems to be getting sick, and knows that Shimron is somehow earning money, claiming he got a good paying job. One day, Martina finds a drawing of herself with the sentence, "Thieving ghetto gal," spreading rumors that Martina was a thief. The next day, Martina receives another note, then gets provoked by Stone Cold, resulting in a fight between the girls. Martina and Stone Cold were suspended for 3 days after a talk between the principal and their mothers. Chapter 12. Martina starts grade 10 choosing her C-Sec subjects. Things at home get more worrisome as Miss Fuller is getting sicker and Yvette's behavior changes. Yvette went on a trip with her father and returned acting unusual. She got quiet and reserved, which concerned Miss Fuller enough to call her father. However, Yvette pleads and freaks out upon that consideration. Miss Fuller seeks the help of an Obeah woman for Yvette. Meanwhile, Martina realizes the importance of achieving her dreams. Then she joins the debating club and the writers club. When she was leaving the debating club one day, she meets Andre, captain of the school's basketball team, who takes a keen interest in her. While waiting for a bus, a woman breaks her car, stares at Martina, then drives off. Chapter 13. Martina wakes up late for school one day, and it's raining, which makes her take a taxi to school much to her dismay. As the taxi travels, the passengers get off one by one, leaving Martina alone with the driver, Dragon. Dragon holds her at knife point. She is tied and taken to a vegetated area. While exiting the vehicle, Martina gets a large cut on her leg as she is directed further into the bushes. Martina outsmarts Dragon, hits him with a rock, and gets away from him. Due to the cut, she blacks out, leaving her family and Miss Turner worried as they found out she didn't go to school that day. After 5 days of searching, Martina was found and taken to a hospital. A mysterious man visits Martina and leaves a brown envelope by her bedside. Chapter 14. After a month's worth of being in the hospital, Martina is released. Martina notices Miss Fuller has more money than usual, which allows her to buy better food and clothes for everyone. Miss Fuller finds out someone paid for the hospital bill. Martina returns to school, trying to put the experience behind her. One day, the students were being searched, and unfortunately for Martina, she was found with a knife, which she claims was for self-defense. Martina was suspended for 3 days, however, it would not be on her record or her mother's memory since Martina pretended to be going to school for 3 days. Chapter 15. Martina starts grade 11, worrying about her exam fees. Miss Fuller recently did an operation on her belly. One day, Martina goes to her classroom during lunch break and sees someone stealing her classmates' valuables. Martina tells Leone, which leads to their form teacher being informed of the situation. During the search, Stone Cold was found with the stolen goods, and it is revealed that she is a kleptomaniac, meaning she has a habit of stealing. Martina goes home to find Yvette's father cornering Yvette in her room. Martina and Miss Turner confront him found out that he raped Yvette during the trip she went with him. Yvette's father leaves the country, unsure if he will return to face consequences. Chapter 16. The operation that Miss Fuller did made her condition worse and temporarily made her feel better. Miss Fuller has a lot on her plate. She is aware that Shimron must be selling and taking drugs. The wife of Yvette's father gave extra allowance to prevent the matter from going public. Miss Fuller goes to town to visit a building and is given a bag, then leaves. She reaches her destination, gives the bag to someone, then she hears gunshots. She noticed Shimron was shot, laying on the ground, making her faint. In the morning, Yvette, Martina, and Miss Turner went to visit Shimron and Miss Fuller in the hospital. Chapter 17. The deadline to pay for Martina's exam fees is fast approaching. However, that concern disappeared by finding out someone paid for her fees. Martina wanted to carry the happy news home, only to find out her mother died from cervical cancer, as explained by Miss Turner. Miss Turner gives Martina an envelope that contained a letter from Miss Fuller, a birth certificate, and a photo of Martina's father, Martin. The letter says that Martin will help Martina in the case Miss Fuller dies. Miss Fuller was also selling drugs, hence how she earned more money. After worship at school one day, Martina was summoned to the principal's office and greeted Martin, who explained he paid for the hospital bill and her exam fee, and further explains Martina's half-sister goes to Milverton, hence the confusion that Martina has been getting from the past few chapters. Chapter 18. Martina gives her valedictorian speech, knowing she did well on her CSEC exams. Martin arranges for her, Miss Turner, and Yvette to live with his aunt. Shimron is enrolled at a skill training center and received new living arrangements after recovering from the hospital.